Hello, in this video we're going to talk about mirrors and mirror list for Manjaro. There's a lot of things you can do from the mirror list. This is mostly in case something's not working when you go to do a PAMAC update. Sometimes you have to revert to a Pac-Man fix. So the first thing is, if you're going to update your system and you get an error saying it can't read from your mirror list or it can't read the repositories, first things, the obvious, make sure you're connected to the internet. I have a laptop behind me that loses its internet connection every 2 or 3 days. It's not often enough for me to think about it. So when it does it, I go, oh my goodness, there's something wrong. And then I go, oh, that's right, this one disconnects from the internet. So check that first. Next thing you're going to do, this particular install of Manjaro is really old and I went to update it hoping it would cause problems. It didn't. Manjaro is awesome and Manjaro fixes itself. So I can't show you a problem because Manjaro is awesome. But every now and then on my main system, I do get an error, and I think it's because I'm running unstable instead of stable. So keep that in mind if you're going to do an update to unstable or testing, that sometimes you need to know what you're getting involved with when you do that. Most often when you have an issue with your update, it's going to be because your keyrings are out of date, and for some reason it's having an issue fetching the keyring. So the first thing we're going to do is update the keyring to make sure that we have trusted packages coming in. If they are no longer, if the keyring is not up to date and it's not considering those packages to be trusted, it will not update them. So the first thing we're going to do is sudo pacman -key refresh -keys. That's going to give us a brand new list of authorizations. Some of these you're going to see not changed as it's flowing through, and this does take several minutes. I'm going to let it keep running so you know about how long it actually does take. But there's going to be a lot of not changed because I just did this a few minutes ago and realized that my recording wasn't recording. So a lot of everything that I have here is probably going to be not changed. Not changed is not necessarily a good or bad thing. It just means that it doesn't need to be updated, so therefore it's not going to change anything. If you're having issues, you'll probably not see as many not changed as I'm going to have here. But that's me still trying to figure this recording thing out after doing it for so many years already. Yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah. Righty. So with that being done, anytime you've managed to do something with your mirror list, whether it's updating keys, updating your actual mirror list, something like that, where you're making changes to the database of your repositories, you need to always update with sudo pacman -s, capital S, small y, small u. That should always be sufficient. If you really feel like you need to go over the top with it, insert the extra y to make capital S, YYU. You rarely ever have to do this, but if you do all of these things and you still experience problems, do SYYU. Again, not usually necessary, but sometimes will fix other problems. I'm going to hit enter, let that update. If you're not changing your repository structure, you're not going from standard to testing or unstable, there shouldn't be much update unless you're really far behind and it hasn't updated because of problems that you just fixed, and then you might have a big list. The next thing to do is if you're having mirror problems, it's saying that your mirror can't be contacted, your mirror list needs to be updated, something like that. It's actually really easy. You can just do a sudo pacman-mirrors. It will show you the list of where you're getting your repositories from. Right now I'm getting them from Iran, Singapore, and Russia. I mean, that's probably okay, but I want the fastest ones. So I'm going to show you how to do the fastest ones. And what we'll do is this command is going to set the 5 fastest ones in the world according to my location. And it's only going to pick the top 5 instead of the top 3. So I'm going to do a sudo pacman-mirrors, do a -- fast track 5, and we're going to go ahead and throw in update anyway, just because it needs to be done. So we'll just go ahead and throw that in there. Capital SYU. This will find the fastest mirrors according to my location, and it will list the top 5 fastest ones for my location, and then it will update. Okay, so that will update you to the top 5 fastest, and now you can see that my mirror list is United States, Switzerland, Iran, Belgium, Kenya. So Singapore and Russia is no longer on there. And that's fine with me, actually. Okay, so there's also an interactive mode, and to get that, we're going to go sudo pacman-mirrors, -I or -interactive. Let's try it with -I. -D. And you can specify where you want your mirrors to come from. Make your own personal list. I'm going to hit cancel. Mirrors have not changed, which is fine. So I don't need to update. Okay, so here, and just for the record, if you go to lowtechlinux.com, I do have a listing of commands to use to get to stable, testing, and unstable. This is Low Tech Linux. If you click over here on the side where it says Manjaro Stable, Testing, and Unstable, it gives you this right here. You can just select that, copy and paste it right into your terminal, and you will get whatever it is you're typing in there. So stable, set branch stable, that is default. When you install Manjaro, you get stable. Ran testing for about 2 years on my Main system had no issues. I'm now on unstable for about the last 4 months and still have had no issues. And keep in mind that unstable Manjaro is stable Arch. The way that it works is Arch does a release on their stable channel. Everybody that has Arch gets it, including Manjaro. Unstable pulls in from that listing. Manjaro unstable is Arch stable. So if you're running Manjaro unstable, you can say, by the way, I'm running Arch. Because you basically are. You're not pulling from the Arch servers, but you are basically running Arch. However, there is one in between the stable and the unstable, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So sudo pacman mirrors every time. API set branch testing. So when you do this, it is going to pull in from, it is going to go through each of the mirrors and make sure that there is something there to pull from. It's going to select your fastest ones, theoretically, and then it's going to create a listing for you to get testing updates. It is going to update just about your entire system. And if you do unstable, it's going to update even more. So keep that in mind. It's not a fast process. It's going to take you about 15-20 minutes to get everything updated. It does not update the kernel. If you want to update the kernel, you're going to do that from the kernel, the settings, Manjaro settings manager right here, kernels. This is where you're going to update the kernel. I do have 19 release client. This is not up to date. I'm going to have to, it might be because it's stable versus my unstable. That might be why. I'm running stable 19-2 on my main. That might update after this gets updated. So we're going to let this update. And then we're going to go ahead and upgrade to testing right here live. Okay, so we are now on testing, but we have not installed anything or updated anything from testing. And that's what we're going to do now. You can do this part with PAMAC. So that's what I'm going to do. PAMAC update. So all of these updates, there's 60 of them, which isn't actually that bad. 60 updates to go from stable to testing. Not bad at all. And it actually, right here, you can see download of Arch Linux keyring. So that's actually updating the key rings, the pinned keys from Arch Linux and TrustDB. Good stuff, good stuff. So this particular install instance is on testing as we speak. Not unstable. It's not from Arch, but it's closer to bleeding edge than Manjaro stable, and there's a little bit more testing involved than Arch or unstable. I think this is a really good middle ground. And like I said, I ran testing for 2 years. I didn't have any problems out of it. All right, so that is updated. We are now on testing. And sometimes it does work. If you're having problems with keyring or you're having problems with the mirror, sometimes it does work to go from stable to testing, and it will actually fix it. You can go back, but you won't be on stable until stable catches up to where you're at, which should be within a couple of weeks. So we're gonna go ahead and restart this. We're gonna go ahead and restart this with a reboot. It actually says 2 updates are available, and it is possible. Testing will release updates quicker than stable. Unstable will release packages quicker than testing. That is one thing that I figured out kind of the hard way now that I'm on unstable. I get updates sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. You don't have to do them, but I do update at least once every other day. But you'll update, and just a little while later, you'll have another update available. It really does work that way. So what we're going to do, just to play around a little bit, I'm going to set my branch back to stable. Just so you can see what it does. Alrighty, we have reverted back to stable, and we're going to run an update to see if there's any updates available, even though we're going backwards. Hamac update. One more time. Okay, now notice there's a whole lot of things here saying, there's a whole lot here saying is newer than core. That's because it is. Well, your computer is newer from the testing repo than core is from stable. Now you're back on stable. This will fix itself over time, but you have to be okay with this little error that's happening right now. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just until stable catches up with your testing versions, you're going to see that same error. Nothing to worry about. It's probably not recommended that you go from testing to stable or unstable back to stable. Probably not recommended, but it won't hurt anything usually. If you found this video at all useful, be sure and like and subscribe. Make an old trucker happy. And until next time, thanks for watching.